So I think I have this finally figured out. I'm not for sure, but we're going to go with it. All right, so today we're looking at cellular respiration. So our target is I can differentiate between the process of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. So we've been talking a lot about photosynthesis and what that actually is. So here's a quick recap. Photosynthesis is the process in which green plants transform light energy into chemical energy, which is glucose. You're going to learn a little bit more about chemical energy next year. This light energy changes the raw materials, so remember what you start with, carbon dioxide and water, into the products, what you end with, which is sugar and oxygen. Remember that our science word for sugar is glucose. The energy is stored in the chemical bonds of the glucose. This whole thing takes place in the chloroplast, and we're actually going to look at some pictures of these when we get to cells. For cellular respiration, the cell uses oxygen to release energy stored in the glucose. This takes place in the mitochondria, which we'll learn more about soon when we start working with cells. Both animal and plant cells have mitochondria, so both kinds of cells release energy through cellular respiration. So just like humans and other organisms, producers also go through cellular respiration as well. So remember, plants can go through cellular respiration and photosynthesis, but animals can only go through cellular respiration. So we're not green, so we can't go through photosynthesis. All right. So just like in photosynthesis, cellular respiration is a process that changes the starting materials into new products. In cellular respiration, starting materials are glucose and oxygen, which are the products of photosynthesis. And cellular respiration begins when glucose in the cytoplasm breaks down into smaller parts, which we call molecules. The molecules enter the mitochondria, and energy is captured as the molecules continue to break down. The final products that you end up with are carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Here is the equation for cellular respiration. It's the reverse of photosynthesis. So glucose plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide and water plus ATP, which is energy. So we're going to use those three letters it's an abbreviation to show that energy is made. So ATP is our energy. So equation for photosynthesis, think about it as being kind of the opposite of this one. So you're going to have carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight is going to give you glucose and oxygen. So if you can remember one of the equations, you just need to flip it for the second one and remember ATP and light energy. Raw materials are always what you start with. So in photosynthesis, you always start with carbon dioxide and water. Your products is what you end up with. So you end up with glucose and oxygen. Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast. It's the green part of the plant cell, which we'll actually get to look at. It's pretty cool. When does photosynthesis take place? We haven't really talked a whole lot about this, but think about how a plant needs light energy in order to go through photosynthesis. So photosynthesis happens during the day. Okay, there's no sunlight at night, so at midnight, your plant's not going through photosynthesis because there's no light for it to do so. All right, then you're going to label the diagram like we've done before. You're going to create your diagram here for photosynthesis. Well, no, I'm sorry. This one you're going to make one of cellular respiration. All right, so the equation is reversed. So you're going to start with glucose and oxygen, and then you're going to end with water, carbon dioxide, and ATP for energy. Where does cellular respiration take place? If you think back to your reading or look back, you'll see that it's the mitochondria. Does cellular respiration take place in plants or animals, or both? I think if you've been listening, you'll know the answer to that question. And when does cellular respiration happen in animals? Always. You never stop breathing. Same thing with plants. When does photosynthesis happen? During the daylight. When does it not happen? At night. Cellular respiration does occur in plants both during the day and at night, but usually the cell is so busy with photosynthesis, cellular respiration kind of takes a backseat during the day. All right, keep working through your HyperDoc. You will have a quiz on this coming up on Tuesday.